Hello everybody, this is Roland, and it was a fantastic week. 8 trades and 8 winners for my settings on the new Uncle Scanner 1.2. I will release this version on Monday, and you can see the new dashboard with the columns in it. Now you can much better see if the three indicators are in alignment. This Maxwell is new on the Uncle Scanner. It has the signal time frame here, in this case our H1. This is our main signal on the time frame which is the scanner running on. It's the H1. This is the confirmation time frame, and this is the Maxwell status. And you can see in this case all three indicators or time frames are in alignment. We have the main signal, our Uncle Lee signal, as a sell signal on the H1. We have a sell mode or downtrend on the down, but only 2.8 pips prediction. So I would not take this trade. It's not enough pips. And if you look at the timestamp, this signal came 2 or 3 hours before weekend. I would never open a new trade at this time before weekend. So let's have a look at our signals. I made 2 videos this week with the trades I had, and this is the last video for this week for all 8 trades I had on this setting. I will show you the signals I got on Friday, the last day in the week, and for example here you can see I had this signal on the Aussie Yen alignment with the this is the old version, as you can see from the dashboard. Now it looks better, but I used here for the auto trader the old dashboard, not to be confusing someone here. We had the sell signal for Uncle Lee signal. We had the sell on the higher time frame, the confirmation time frame. The Maxwell pointed up, and in this case it is not in alignment. And you can see it was in the older version it was all red here, and it was not that easy to see if this is a good or bad signal because the complete text here was in red. And now it looks as I showed you this way. You can now see if there is all in alignment. So this, oops, let me see where it is here. So this signal was not taken because Maxwell pointed up and the main signals were pointing down, not in alignment. The same here. We had this Euro pound trade. We had a sell on the M15, my signal time frame, and the H1. It was in a sell mode, but Maxwell pointed in the other direction and a prediction of 0 pips. So forget it. Then we had this trade, the Aussie dollar, a buy, but Maxwell pointed in the wrong direction, so forget it too. Then we had the Aussie yen trade. It was a sell, and indeed the Maxwell pointed down, but only 2.3 pips. And I only took a trade in this week if Maxwell had minimum or more than 6 pips. So forget it too. Then we had this trade, pound New Zealand, and this was a trade I took. And you can see it is a buy, Maxwell points in the correct direction, and a prediction 9.5 pips. This was a winner. I will show you later in my history. Then we had this gold trade, and you can see only 1.5 prediction, even if all in the same direction. So this trade I sorted out. Then we had the last, it was the second last trade of the week. We had this trade on Friday after 1 hour of the New York session. It was all in alignment. We had a buy, Maxwell points up, and a prediction of 10 pips. And this was the last trade. The Euro USD buy, Maxwell pointed up with 21 points prediction. I closed this trade earlier, around 2 or 3 hours before the weekend, because I was not in my office then later, so I closed it before I went home. So, and now we look at these trades in the history of my MetaTrader. So here are all the trades, all 8, and this 9th one I explained it in my last video. This was a trade I took for testing. I added a spread protector in my AutoTrader to not get trades with a big spread, and I had to test if this works. So I opened this trade and I closed it 1 minute later only for testing, and this is this losing trade, but this was not an Agimat trade, promise. This all the 8 trades: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, all winners. And if you check here out, we had the first trade was the CAD Swissy, then we got the pound New Zealand trade, and this was the testing trade, Euro Swissy, nice trade with over 8 euros here. Again a CAD Swissy trade, Aussie Kiwi trade, and this was on Friday. You can see on Friday I had 3 trades. Normally I had with the settings 1 or 2 trades a day and even 0 trades a day, but I don't need more. I am not addicted to trades. If there is no trade, then I don't trade. It's very easy. And this was the 3 trades I showed you on my screenshot: the pound New Zealand, the USDCAD and the Euro USD. To compare it, you can see it here again on my screenshot. It was the Euro, the USDCAD and this pound New Zealand trade. The 3 trades were all rules fulfilled. So very nice. 8 winners, 0 losers. This can happen, and it's very nice to have such a great week. But it's also possible to get some losers in a week. But it was very good, and I like the setting, and I think I will stay at this setting. And I will show you one of these last trades on Friday. I recorded the USDCAD trade. I was sitting in front of my computer, and I could recorded this trade to show you some examples. Here is it. Let's have a look at this trade. I have to start it first. Now it starts. It was a trade, if I remember correct. Let me see. This was the trade. See it here, the USDCAD trade, 1 hour after the New York Open. And it started very well here. After minutes, it was almost half through to the target, 10 pip target and 25 pip stop loss. At this time I thought, okay, 1 minute more, and we had already hit this target, but it came not that way. It took a little bit longer, and to move forward I had to change the window size here a little bit. So we move a little bit forward, and you can see then it came a pullback here. This happens very often. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, and you have to be patient, not to be to close the trade early and think, oh, this will not work out. Better to go away from the computer and watch what will happen. So we move a little bit forward to minute 4. You can see we don't know, will it go up or down? It is near to the entry again here. Then we move forward to minute 6. Not much happened in this few minutes here. Price stuck here on the entry. We go to minute 7. Now it looks a little bit better again. You can see this was the Uncle Lee signal here. We had this yellow box with the black arrow in it. Then we wait for the white arrow as our second confirmation. And the last confirmation is the completely closed Heiken-Ashi candle above the yellow line. It was this one here. And in the meantime, I use very often the normal candles. I must admit, I like the normal Japanese candles much more than the Heiken Ashi candles. And if you use the Uncle Lee rules with normal candles, you often get a much better entry as with Heiken Ashi candles. And this is the case why I will add to the scanner an option if you want to use the signals with the Heiken Ashi or with the normal candles. And I think it will come with the version 1.25 in 1 week. So in the next version, not a 1.2 on Monday, but in the version after that, I think I will add the possibility to change or to use either the Heiken Ashi candles or the normal candles. And the next addition to the scanner is the white arrow signal. I have very much or very often the wish to get a signal if the white arrow appears, because this signs the trend change is stabilizing. And in this case, many members want a signal if this white arrow appears, so the scanner will then scan for a white alert as well, without the third rule, a candle established over or under the yellow line. So you can see the trade is on its way to the target. And we are in minute 9 here. We go a little bit forward to minute 10. A few pips away from the target, but you never know. It is possible that the candle goes here and then it goes down. You have to wait until the trade is over. We go again a little bit forward to minute 11. And this was the last minute of this trade before the target was hit. You can see the 2 green lines. It shows the ask and the bid price. And that MetaTrader close the trade. Both lines must go over the target line, the ask and the bid price. But the spread is very, very small. You can see both lines together here. This means the spread is near to 0 on this pair on the USDCAD. So this is very good. It's the IC Markets broker here I use. Australian broker I like very much. Now the candle go a little bit down again. I was a bit worried if this trade will hit the target, but you know, you saw it in history, it will happen, and we will see it in the next 30 seconds. Now it is near to the target, and this is the moment you are happy and you see, okay, it's only 1 pip away from the target. And I always smile if the trade goes over the target line, and this happened here. And you can see in the same time the target is hit, we get this possible pullback sign for a pullback, this yellow box without an arrow. If you not use a fixed target, this is a sign where you should close a part of your trade or the complete trade. And if you only close a partial of your trade, you should, in this case, set the trade to break even. But you can use this method as well. But I use a fixed target. So this was one of the last trades from the week. This was this USDCAD trade. And the last trade, as I said, was the Euro USD. And this USDCAD trade took, let me see, it was 50 minutes. And then the Euro USD was opened here at 5 p.m. And then it was 7 or almost 8 p.m. And I had to go and I closed the trade because I wanted to watch this trade until the Forex exchange closed for the weekend. And normally I go not longer as 8 p.m. on Friday for a trade, but we can watch or check if the trade was going well, if we hadn't closed this trade earlier on the M15. and I think it was this trade. Let me check. 5 p.m. So okay, exactly. It was a little bit up and down, up and down. I was here sitting and watching. Then it was here, and I closed it around here. And then okay. So I was a little bit too quick or too early. If I had waited, the full 10 pip target would have been hit. So if you had waited 1 or 2 hours more, it had given again a full 10 pip target. I had only 5 or 6 pips in this case. So you can see even this last trade had given the full 10 pips. So full 8 winners in this week. And I hope next week we will see again a nice week with a lot of winners. And again, my setting was in this week the M15 for the signals, the H1 for the confirmation, and Maxwell minimum or more than 6 pips. So happy trading and have a nice weekend.